Fix My Swing. And I'm going to hand it over to you guys for a minute and get things ready for Fix My Swing. Here.
Sounds good.
All right.
Did you get a chance to look at this swing, Frank?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah, it's not bad, eh?
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, we've been getting some pretty good golf swings. Getting some pretty talented players.
Yep. This guy's got a pretty good move too. I don't see too many things that I would work on with him. But I know that I sent Mike a couple of photos of impact, and we're going to take a look at the video too. So.
Yes. This is Mr. Bubba Jennings. He is from Texas. Thank you so much, Bubba, for sending in your swing. He writes here to us. He has 5 handicap. He struggles with over-rotation on the backswing and getting too far under the plane on the downswing. His misses are fat shots, shots going left. Would like to get steeper and hit the ball more solid. Also hit lots towards the heel, the club face. Oh, that is not fun. Any suggestions are greatly appreciated. Awesome. Thanks so much, Bubba, for sending in your swing. I'm going to go in and make a few comments, and then we're going to all look at it here. First up, let's go ahead and take a look at down the line. Very good player at a 5 handicap. That video's looking good tonight. Awesome video that you shot for us too, Bubba. Very cool.
Diamond stick down there and everything.
Yeah, he's got it going on. Let's put a line up here. Yes, he's got a good golf swing. Let's see if we can help him out a little bit. Okay, the first thing that I saw is that with alignment, we're looking like our feet are aiming a little bit to the right and our shoulders are a little bit open. What do you think, gents?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I would say, just for alignment purposes alone. And let's take a look at the backswing. So he takes it right up the chute, looking good right there. Club face a little bit closed at the top. And he comes down under the plane. Now, one of the things that he talks about hitting it left is it's a little bit too far under the plane. And we're going to see that from side on as well, because face on, you can see his right arm's not going to have a lot of room to clear right there when he comes down, and his club face is getting pretty close pretty quick as he comes down. And he gets that shaft there, and he swings it a little bit too far out to the right. But other than that, pretty good motion through the ball. He stays in this posture really well, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, this ball flight was just like a little bit of a draw, and it didn't look much of a pull draw. So yeah, I like a lot of. He talked about over rotation. I saw the extra little move he did, and I just wonder if that was an instinct. I can see that he's taken some coaching. I think in the past. He's got a lot of things going on with his setup that are quite nice, and they got a little flip flare out in the front. I think he's kind of standing on that angle of the dress, Mike, because he is trying to hit a little bit of a draw, and aiming out to the right a little bit with his feet. And obviously, if he cranked his shoulders back a little bit more, I think he'd swing more path more right, which would be probably worse if he's struggling with the hooks.
Yeah, it looks like, and we're going to see here from face on. Yeah, from face on, this club comes from underneath pretty good, and he kind of leaves a lot of weight. And you can look at, this is one thing that I noticed, the foot just moving. Look at that. Like that, and then he gains his balance and holds his balance. So let's take a look at from face on. Yep. A lot of things we can learn from you, Bubba, looking at your swing here.
He does a real good job, too, Mike, of keeping his angles at impact. He was in a really good position.
Yes, no doubt. Okay, let's put some lines up here. Put another line up here. Put a circle around your head. And let's take a look at this. this is even more what we can say what you're talking about, Bubba. We kind of get a little bit outside with our weight. And one of the things that I look for is actually right here on the knee. And like to try and keep that knee pretty stable, and it kind of turns out, and then we slide and get outside of that. You can see your head and everything moving to the right outside of that. So that's what sets the bottom of your swing. Okay, so you have to get back to that point, get your head back in the circle, and get your right knee back into the circle on your downswing. So it stands to reason you're a good player. You have figured it out that if you take your ball position and you move it a little bit back in your stance, you can hit it. So you figured this out. Now, why are you hitting thin shots? We're going to see right here on the downswing, right there.
Sure.
And that's why we're hitting thin shots. If we zoom in here, this club is just about touching the ground. So why does that happen? It happens because
see it in the next frame too, right here. You'll see what he does.
Yeah, and we're gonna see.
Right.
See if I can slow it down just a little bit.
Right there. That was the one.
Right there.
Yeah. So I think this looks like to be about a 5-iron. I'm not quite sure, but it's either a mid or lower lofted club at address there. So we got a little bit of tilt back and a little bit of hit up.
Yes, a little bit of tilt back here with the spine, and a little bit of hit up. So how are we going to try and help you here, Bubba? I think what we need to do is try and make sure that we don't move so much this way with our lower body. Kind of be more stable. What do you think, Frank? Trying to hit some shots with the ball between your knees, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely stabilize the lower body.
Yeah, you can see the difference here between the arrows that I put up with a spine angle at impact or just post-impact and what a spine angle is here at address. It's a lot different. That spine angle change is causing a lot of this. So trying to keep your head up and rotating instead of dipping it back this way will definitely help impact for sure. Moving the ball a little bit farther forward, I think, would help as well. Trying to get on top of it more and just try to be more rotation around this way more instead of so much sideways in your golf swing. And I think that is the ticket, because we need to get more, not so much to the right, and then really not a lot going through to the left. So it's definitely going to help you in that way. What do you think, gents?
If you can get rid of those lines, Mike, for a sec.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on a couple things just two things that are, one thing I really want to work on, but just two things that I can point out maybe that he can improve, specifically with this particular club. If you can just wind him up, backswing.
Yep.
And then get him to start down a little bit. He doesn't really retain much wrist angle, so I would try and teach him to pull down a little bit, because so there's good, and then he loses it, right?
Yep.
And it gets a bit swipey. So if you can go just back a little bit, just to one more frame back. He has in this particular, keep going a little bit more. Just try and get it to right leg impact. You know where you had that frame?
Yeah, I'm moving it here.
Just getting it down to the ground where it was almost touching the ground. Yeah, right there. So he's I don't know how many milliseconds away from impact there, and his hands are just even with his right thigh. So I would get him to maybe hit some knockdown shots or do a stop drill, so he could gain the rotation that you mentioned earlier, and try and get left and get rotating, because he's kind of hanging out back there on the right side too much. So I want to get a little bit of a forward shaft lean. So either little downhill, hit some downhill shots or some knockdown shots, or the stop drill is basically swing and feel like you hit a punch shot, but keep the club parallel to your waist when you follow through. So I think if we can get that, we get a little bit more solid impact, and that would help his ball striking a bit.
Jason, would you do anything with him with regards to his wrist angle at the top of the backswing? Because he's got that face shut. Would you do anything to try to change the wrist angle to get the toe of the club down instead of
no,
the face closed? Or are you good with where he is?
I'm good with where he's at because he's a 5, so he's pretty good to. He knows how to return the club back to impact. He's just not as efficient as we would like at impact, where his hands aren't quite educated enough to get forward enough to have the type of contact that he wants. Even in the down the line swing, I stopped at an impact and sent Mike a still, and I can see that his hands are right on top of his right thigh.
Right.
So he's past it because Mike said you can see he's moving past the green lines and sliding a bit. So we either got to slow that down or speed the hands and arms up, one of the two. So if he can brace better, hopefully he can get his hands and arms to catch up a little bit better, and his matchups will be better at impact.
Got awesome legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he uses the ground well.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Balance is great. Pivots are good.
Good golf swing. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Bubba from Texas, for sending in your swing. Very, very cool. And if you would like to have your swing looked at by all of us here on Fix My Swing, you can go to MikeFayGolf.com/FixMySwing and enter in to have your swing looked at. So thanks, Bubba. That was very, very cool. All right.